Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Hun the Hound here with kind of like a retrospective video of 2019 for you guys. Um, I just want you guys to know that 2019 was very hard for me and my family, and I tried not to let it show on the channel. I honestly just wanted my channel to be what I wanted my life to be. A lot better than the actual situation I was in. Little prerequisite or a little story ahead of time. For the past 3 years, most of my life, all my life actually, I lived with my father in a tiny 720 square foot house. Uh, and the past 3 years, I didn't move out because I was helping my father pay his bills while he didn't work so he can get Social Security disability. I was paying his bills because I was promised that he would pay me back every penny I paid towards his bills. And 2019 was rough. I was struggling with money. I was struggling with a tiny, cramped house. I was struggling with helping a parent that was very disrespectful to me and my wife. Didn't like the way I raised my own children, which, might I add, is a lot better way than they raised me. Um, and just overall was not happy. My job was actually the only thing that was going right. It was a good paying IT job for a company that acted like they cared about everybody. Hindsight might be 2020. And going to work every day, making money, is the only thing that really made me happy. Beginning of January, many of you may not know that me and Lilly are polyamorous. Um, you know, I started getting around new people. Um, it took a couple of months for me to get away from these people. These people were not healthy for me. Um, Mistakes were made. But at the same time that was happening, I had finally had enough of my father telling me what I needed to do with my life because I'm 30 years old at the time. And the statement that came out of my mouth that ruined, well, it didn't ruin, but it started a downward spiral between me and my father's relationship was, my parents were example of what not to be as a parent, and my wife's parents were example of what to be as a parent. Along with a whole lot of other hateful, hurtful things said between me and my father. My main goal was to prove that I was not going to be pushed around anymore, that I wasn't going to be told what to do, and that I was going to do my own thing. I didn't talk to my dad I lived with him, and I didn't talk to him for a whole month. I'd randomly get text messages about how I was disrespectful and that I need to get the fuck out of the house and he's going to put a bullet in his head if I leave. And then he doesn't need me at all, so he told me to leave. A lot of manipulative mind games that me and my wife both went through. He was angry. My father was still angry about a house deal, a $270,000 house that I wasn't going to buy. We were supposed to buy it together. And he thought he was going to get $90K out of this rundown, mold-filled house, which is another issue I'll get to. So we're in a 720 square foot house with a child, which it works out fine. There's a bedroom for me, and me and Chelsea, and there's a bedroom for Charlie. And the only problem we have is our roommate, as I would call it, my father, living in the basement. He has the whole basement to himself, so 720 feet upstairs, 720 feet downstairs. In Ohio, they don't count basement as living space. So that's why I'm going to say the house is 720 square feet. And my dad's downstairs with 3 dogs, and they piss and shit all over the floor. He doesn't clean it up. He doesn't clean up after himself. He's sick, but I'm sorry, there's no excuse to be living like a slob. There's been black mold on the basement wall underneath my childhood bedroom and my adult bedroom in that house for as long as I can remember. I personally, as a teenager, tried to fix it. It just came back. And my dad didn't want to acknowledge anything. It's just dirt. It's just dirt. That's all it is. So He builds shelving in front of it, and then wonders why all his pots and pans get mold on them. Cast iron skillet. You close the drawer, the back's open right to that mold. Pulls open the drawer, a week later, and the cast iron skillet's got mold on it. Gee, doesn't that seem like a problem to you? So, work's going great. Work's not going great, let me be honest. Work was bad because I was having so many stresses and so many issues in my life that I had level 2 high blood pressure that I didn't realize. I was suffering from anxiety and depression that I was lying to myself about. And work wasn't going well. I made a lot of mistakes, and I had a good boss that previously that would cover for me and, don't worry about, just make the big boss happy. He would make the big boss happy and take the blame for a lot of things I did. I'd gotten a new boss later in 2019. He was a good guy. He might not have defended me as much or tried to shut up the big boss as much as some people might assume. My ex-boss kind of mentioned that. And I just had this anxious feeling the whole time that I'm going to lose my job. And I keep working my butt off. And then I feel like I'm not going to lose my job because we're moving buildings and they need me. They need me. They did need me. So during this early summer, we realized Chelsea, Lilly, is pregnant. And, hey, we don't have any room for this child. So what are we going to do? Well, I don't have any money. And at the same time, my dad actually wins his Social Security disability case. It had to go to a lawyer and had to take 3 years. And also they gave him 3 years of back pay. Now I count up all the money I ever sent him. I never paid the bills directly. I paid my father the money directly. Had track of it and everything. He would just tell me how much to pay. Well, it's $1,500 this month. It's $1,000 this month. It's $2,000 this month. I wouldn't really get to see why. I wouldn't really ask because I trusted him. And then it came to a point of him getting the money, and he took a long time to get it. And I don't know if that was because the Social Security disability system took forever, or it had to go through the lawyers first and they take their cut. All I know is it took a while. And the whole time I was being very nice and being very quiet, but it finally came to a head. I finally got mad and told my dad, are you going to pay me back? You owe me $35K. And in his anger and ignorance, I don't know you anything. I never said I'd pay you back, blah, 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 blah. Yes, you did. You said you'd pay me back. You said it to me and my wife. You said it several times. That's all he said, I'll pay you back. So his next answer was, well, some of those bills were yours, so I'm just going to give you whatever the fuck I want to give you. That's true. He didn't say that at the time. He didn't say, well, I'll pay you back for the part of my bills that you pay. Not, separating it, because we didn't separate it. And that would be too much paperwork for him to go back and say, well, this much was caused by you, and this much water was used by you. And so I had mentioned to him, not a threat, just mentioned to him, that if the government found out that he was working under the table the whole time he was on Social Security disability, that he would get 5 years in jail or $100,000. Are you threatening me? No, I'm not. And then I hung up on him. And he apparently called a lot of different of his friends that he doesn't know talk to me as well. And said a whole bunch of bad things, and I'm the worst son ever, and blah, blah, blah. So, without telling my dad, my in-laws, where I'm currently living right now, were, God bless them, graceful enough to let us live here with them. And, Chelsea's getting more and more pregnant. Well, she's growing. Can't get more pregnant than she already was. And it came to a head where my dad's like, well, what are you doing? We're moving to my parents. And my dad hates my in-laws because the deal with the house. They told me it was a bad idea to get that house. I listened. And he blames them every day for it and hates. He's just so full of hate. My father is so full of hate. That's why I try not to be like that. So we move in Labor Day weekend very quickly. Rent a truck, get all my stuff out. I have a water bed that was given to me by my dad. He made. move that heavy damn thing out. And it was pretty easy. He didn't really say too much, but there was still a lot of hate and animosity. Um, Enough about the bad stuff. The good stuff that happened after that point. Well, literally the weekend after we moved, or the week after we moved, I had lost my job. My boss brought me in with the head of HR. I knew it was happening the second he brought me in there, and I saw her sitting there, and they just said, "You've just made too many mistakes, and we need to let you go." 3 weeks prior to this, I had found CBD gummies. I started taking them, and even though I was still living at with my dad, my anxiety just gone, and I was also taking high blood pressure pills at the time. So my blood pressure was lowering, my anxiety was gone when I took the gummies every day before work, and I was getting better. And my boss is even like, "You're so much better," but he knew in the back of his mind that his boss had already determined I'm gone. So let me go. My boss is so, God bless him, is just so tearful that to have to let me go. He couldn't even say what he wanted to say. He had to type it out in a letter because this grown man that was in the military, that's a very strong individual that I look up to, couldn't say the words he wanted to say without crying, without not being able to say them. And I applaud him for that. And it lets me know he really cared. So it was a good thing and a bad thing because I was obviously making a lot of mistakes. I was also obviously under a lot of stress, and it wasn't good for my health. So come back to my in-laws. Hey, I know I'm supposed to be paying you rent, but I just lost my job. They are very graceful and very gracious, and I don't have to pay rent. I've not paid rent since I've been unemployed since the beginning of September. I owe them so much. I've worked my butt off cleaning their house, doing home improvement things, stuff like that. And it's been hard. And I got on Medicaid, so I decided to go to a therapist and get, therapy. Duh, that's what you go to therapists for. And I realize now that I'm in a lot better situation, that I'm in control of my life, and my father isn't. The few times since I moved out, my father has been trying to control me, do this, do that. I don't live with you. I cut all my bills off from you. I got off his cell phone bill, which I was paying for 3 years as well. And, the therapist is like, he doesn't hold power over you anymore. You're an adult. If he calls and starts having a tantrum at you like he does, treat him like a child. Block him. Hang up on him. Tell him, though, I'm blocking you for 24 to 48 hours until you calm down. I had an issue where we're at the baby shower. We're at a furry baby shower. We had 2 baby showers, furry and a regular. I was at the furry baby shower. Dad calls because my package accidentally went to the old house, not the new one. And I hit hang up several times because I'm in fursuit. I'm not going to answer it with someone in the back yelling, "Ooh woo!" It's fucking furries. So I get in a fight with him over the phone about, me ignoring him. "Where are you at now?" "I'm out." "Where are you at now?" I finally tell him, "I'm at a baby shower." Why wasn't I invited?" "Because it's for my friends. And that's really where I learned, just hang up, ignore him. I've still got text messages from 2019 where he goes, "Get the fuck out. I'm just going to pull a bullet in my head, blah, 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 blah." There's many times I'm just like, do I call the cops or what? Or is he just bluffing for attention? I recently got a job at, I'm not going to tell you where, but it's a very nice place. It's a very well-known place. And it's a contract job and temporary, but so is the last job, and I stayed there for 2 years. So I know I'm good. I know I'm a better employee than I was 2 years ago, actually. And Chelsea's right now upstairs, 9 months pregnant, ready to pop anytime in the next few weeks. I have so many good friends that I love very much. I have, Chelsea, Lilly the fox, And there's a new person in my life that I don't really announce when I date people because they don't last. The last few that I've had didn't last very long, but uh, someone that I met at World Wild Fur Camp 2018, I liked their suit. They thought I took it as me liking them. Maybe I did, but when they kind of freaked out about me liking their suit, I kind of like shut those feelings off. But Delta Evergreen, um, she's an amazing individual, and I'm very thankful for her. And she she loves my son, she loves my wife, and I just am so thankful to have her in my life. She's a guild leader for World Wild Fur Camp 2019. Her mother is the head of hospitality. Um, Edelweiss, Edelweiss, Edelweiss. It's German, but her mother pretty much made World Wild Fur Camp 2019 a lot better, and we're very thankful for her. So I want to thank her and her family. I want to thank many of the Ohio furs that came out to my furry meets, and were here for me, and just I enjoyed your guys' company, and I'm glad I made an environment that you guys could have fun. Um, I'd also like to thank a lot of the young furs that I met this year. Just so you guys know, you guys are my inspiration for being in this fandom. Um, I try to set a good example of what someone in this fandom should be. I try to make a safe environment at my meets for younger people to meet other younger people, and because a lot of young furs they see are just happy to be around other furries, around other people that accept them. Um, I want to thank anybody that had made it to any of my videos. Um, it's this channel is not about me; it's about me and my friends. And if you made it in my video, I thank you very much. I want to thank my Patreons, of course. I only have 3, but that doesn't mean anything. They bought me a new computer last year, and they're about to buy me a better lens this year. Everything that comes from Patreon I use towards this channel. The computer obviously was for video editing and live streaming, but and the lens is going to be, instead of just my head stuck in here, it's going to be able to fit more. I'm going to get a wider lens. I just I also want to thank Mr. Al Cabone, aka Ziggy Furley, for creating World Wild Fur Camp. There's a lot of good things that came out of it. 2019 World Wild Fur Camp, a lot of relationships came out of that, a lot of new friendships, and yeah, we're not getting into that. So thank you, and I was also made vice chairman for World Wild Fur Camp, and I take that job very seriously because I remember before camp started, I was like, this is not going to happen. This is a pie in the sky idea. And then we had some drawbacks. I'm in a basement, so of course you're going to hear shit upstairs. I had some drawbacks and some struggles that I was able to pull the camp through on. And just a lot of negative people that we had to kind of push away because they thought we were just a bunch of failures. Not only did we had a decent 2018, we made a few promises that we couldn't keep. And 2019 was much better, a lot less issues, and people overall were very happy. So here's the 2020. 2020, I hope to have just as many videos. I hope to go on just as many adventures. I hope to travel more. And, oh God, I'm sorry. Chloe from God damn it. Chloe, Glitter Critter Creations. She made Winter. I hung out with her at AC. She's a doll. I love her to death. Me and her really bonded at AC. We have a lot in common. And anytime I've had a bad issue with her was just me being in a bad mood. So I'm just saying, anytime I fought with her, it's been my fault. Be happy, Chloe. But she's a saint, and she's not afraid to speak her mind like I am, and she's very blunt, and I just, I appreciate that. That's really good. So I can't think of anybody else I need to thank. I'm sorry if I forgot you. Some of the more popular furries, thank you for putting up with me, honestly. I'm in Odin's furry YouTube chat, and I just feel like a big dummy in there sometimes, but you guys are great, and you put up with me, and you let me join in on all the fun. Um, Especially the people I met at AC. I had a good one-on-one conversation with Haffy, and that girl's amazing. I love her. Her and her girlfriend, both amazing. So thank you guys very much. Sorry for rambling like this. I just wanted to get out a lot of things I've been holding back and everything. I'm about to have a new child. Um, when I start working again, I need to save up money to pay off credit card debt that I've had for years. I need to save up money to get my own house. My house that I want to have room for all the people I love and enough room to film and furry parties and all that other fun shit. um, so I gotta buy my wife a new car. I gotta buy a big boy car now. No more two-door coupes for me. So, on behalf of um, my wife and my kids and Delta and all my other friends, thank you guys very much for watching. There'll be a lot more to come. I'm making a variety show right now that I'm probably going to post on January 1st. You guys will be up when it comes out, so I don't know how else to end this. I'm not crying under my fursuit. It just sounds that way. just thank you guys, and continue watching. And I love all of you.